What's up, everyone? Welcome back to After the Storm. This is the Canes game review for game number 50 of the season, a 4-3 overtime win against the Philadelphia Flyers. In introing this game, Frederik Andersen back in the net, taking the second half of a back-to-back. That's kind of unusual. I think he's pretty much taken exclusively the first half of every back-to-back, but Ronta got the start in Pittsburgh yesterday afternoon. Ian Cole comes back in the lineup for Brendan Smith, who of course took the block shot from Danton Heinen in the Pittsburgh game. Got reevaluated, seems to be okay and is traveling with the team, but obviously will be out for a little while as he gets reevaluated. And Seth Jarvis was the healthy scratch for this game. Derek Stepan draws in. I didn't really look at this as a problem with Jarvis's game. To me, it seemed very much that Brendan Moore was just trying to do a rotation of players and guys getting into the lineup. I don't think Stepan's played since Kokoniemi came back in the Minnesota game, so to get him back in the lineup is kind of important. And lastly, this is a rescheduled game from earlier on in the season that was canceled, I believe due to the COVID issues. I believe Carolina actually flew to Philadelphia and basically landed and then had to turn around and go home. So I recall that being very strange last month. So they ended up rescheduling this to today, President's Day in the United States. In Canada, here where I am, it's family day, so most people at least had the day off today, so an afternoon start isn't too crazy. And as the first period opens up very early on, as kind of has been the case, a little bit of a pattern forming for the Canes. They usually give up one little chance early on. This one, Travis Konechny comes in and Freddie Andersen has the answer for him. Isaac Ratcliffe, who is going to be the player I highlight for the Flyers in this one because I think he just had a tremendous game. He's one of those Flyers draft picks that nobody really knows, if they were going to pan out or not. The Flyers have taken some really off-the-board picks in the last few years at their drafts, so this is another one where he was picked, and I'm not sure, maybe this is more or less Hextall's drafting resulted in some people just being very confused, but Ratcliffe looks like he's kind of arrived. He looks like a solid NHLer right now, but he had a game in this one. Hits the crossbar early on off of a Brett Pesce turnover, and right after he does a between the legs chance. This guy is like 6'5" or 6'6", comes in, does a between the legs chance. Freddie saves it though. Svechnikov takes a cross-checking penalty, so Philadelphia heads to the first power play of the game. Carolina's penalty kill would pretty much deal with that very easily. That's how we ended the first. It wasn't a very exciting first period, to say the least. But both teams were certainly in it, traded a few chances, but Carolina getting heavily outshot early on in this game. And the quick starts continue for the Canes in the Pittsburgh game. 2 goals at the 9-second mark of the second and third periods, opening them up. So this one, no different. 24 or 26 or 36 seconds. I can't remember exactly how many seconds into the period it was on this play, but a dump around the boards. It hits a stanchion, comes out. Nino Niederreiter right there to pot it, just lifts it over the pad. Martin Jones and the Carolina Hurricanes lead 1-0. Almost immediately after, Gerald Mayhew, I believe his name is Gerald. First name is Gerald. I feel like I've only seen this guy's name on NHL video games, so seeing him actually play is a bit of a shock. But nevertheless, he ends up with a kind of a really nice play, bouncing puck, just kind of centers it back with the backhand to the net. It bounces off of Sebastian Aho's stick and past Frederik Andersen, and we're tied right back up. He just takes an interference call shortly after the goal, sending Flyers back to the power play. But the best penalty kill in the league would take care of business yet again, killing it off. And then a very nice move, this reunited SAT line, or ATS, or TSA, whatever line you want to call it. Teravainen and Aho and Svechnikov. Svechnikov brings the puck in from the right side, powers around the net, and this is the one aspect of Andrei Svechnikov's game that has just been so improved. Last year, it seemed like every time he kind of got the puck, he would slow down considerably. He was a good, skater when he didn't have the puck in possession, but this year, my goodness, has this guy improved with the puck, and he's powerful on his stride. He's got great balance with it, and this power forward move he does, we see it almost every game from Andre. He just excels at this. Comes around the net, throws it backhand to Teravainen. The defenseman, I believe, was Nick Seeler, didn't even really see Teuvo coming in. Teuvo buries it past Martin Jones, and it's 2-1 Carolina. And right after this goal, they would officially confirm that Tony DeAngelo would not return to the game. There was a clip circulating on Twitter, I think it was from Corey Lavalette, where he takes like a one-timer on the point, and something's not right there, and he skates to the bench kind of slowly, gets off the ice, and heads to the dressing room. So clearly Tony DeAngelo was fighting something. I think he was hurt a few games back. It's an upper body injury at the very least. That's what we were told. Now this has been a big talking point of mine dating back even to last season when we had the condensed schedule and all those games in a very short amount of time, is rest. And this is a Guy Boucher quote from the Ottawa Senators from so many years ago now, but rest is a weapon. And sometimes we just got to let these guys heal up. I use the example, and maybe I use it a little too much, but last year's playoffs, we went into that Nashville series banged up. Slavin wasn't playing. People were already hurt going into that series, and it showed. And they nearly lost that series to Nashville. And if it wasn't for Slavin pretty much playing 50% for those final games, I don't know if they win it. So what I want to see out of this is I want to see Jalen Chatfield get called back up to the NHL. He was excellent in his stint coming up earlier in the season. I thought Joey Keane was kind of okay as well, if you want to go that route. But a right-handed shot, I would think Chatfield's the one. Bring Chatfield back up and let Chatfield play for a little while Tony heals. We can't just keep throwing guys through it. And I know it's the hockey method and all that, and I know Tony wants to be playing, but man, we just got to be healthy come April. That's the whole thing. Got to be healthy in April to win. Flyers take a penalty. Carolina goes to their first power play. Freddie makes a big shorthanded save on this one, and the Flyers would end up killing it off. Jesper Fast and Rasmus Ristolainen end up jousting a little bit. I don't mind this 4-on-4 call where they just take both guys. I don't like the fact that, Ristolainen is giving him a ton of cross-checks before all of this, but the reason I think on this play why the refs didn't let them battle it out as the puck moved along, I think is because Fost turns and just kind of punches up at Ristolainen. Now, I know this is kind of ridiculous to call and all that, but I don't mind the 4-on-4 here, just simply because Fost takes himself out of the play in order to engage on that. I think that's why the refs just went nah, screw it, both of you guys are going. So we get some 4-on-4 hockey, not a whole lot happens. We go back to 5-on-5. Freddie makes a big save off Scott Lawton to end the period. Carolina has a 2-1 lead heading to the third. And we'll pass the 5-minute mark of the third period. Isaac Ratcliffe, the player I'm highlighting, keeps his excellent game going. He tries a wrap chance, and the puck comes perfectly out to the former Carolina Hurricane, Brown, and he just pots it. Easy play here, wide open net, tie game 2-2. And shortly after, again, this third period wasn't super eventful, probably until around the end of it. But Ian Cole, who at this time, and we'll get to the issues I have with him later on in the video, at this time, he was having an excellent game. Dare I say his best game as a Carolina Hurricane. He's at the point. He gets a shot through it, bounces through a couple times, finds Vincent Trocheck, who gets a wide open net on the backhander, gets it past Martin Jones, and Carolina restores their 1-goal lead. Niederreiter would have a chance right after this goal, but Martin Jones makes a nice stop on him. He just would take his second penalty of the game here. Flyers back to the power play. It is their third of the game. Carolina kills it off yet again. 3-on-1 forms out of the box, however, and an extra pass, though it was a good idea. I think Martin Jones was way out of the net by Nietzsche's here. Foss gets his stick lifted by Keith Yandel, who's not known for his defensive play, so this is a rarity among Keith Yandel plays here. But Foss can't reach the puck. We stay just the 1-goal lead. Now, here's where I think some of the game fell apart. Now, did it cost the team in the end? No, but it's about picking plays. And I can see kind of both sides of the argument. Somebody mentioned this on Twitter to me, is Cole gets his helmet ripped off by Zach McEwen here. You know, he does have two options on this play. He has one is to fight, which in my opinion is the wrong play to go with here, but his other one is skating off the ice, and I don't think either one were particularly good, but he is kind of close to the bench, and he might have been able to get away with it. For Ian Cole here, he has to realize that what he's about to do is weighing more than just him being out of the play for 5 seconds, and he takes, in my opinion, the wrong choice here. He makes the wrong decision, and it costs his team. So with about 6.5 minutes to go in the third, Ian Cole has to realize that if he fights, there's only 4 defensemen left on the Canes roster in this game that are available to play. Now, the team was already looking gassed. They had just played the night before, third game in 4 nights, and they're banged up. Brendan Smith is hurt. Tony DeAngelo is now hurt. People like Slavin, Pesci, Shea, and Cole were among the leaders in ice time in this game because they really didn't have another option. They had to keep throwing everybody out. So Cole fights McEwen here. There's not much. I saw some stuff about McEwen punching him in the back of the head. I didn't even see it, so I'm not going to really comment on anything like that. I think it's a brutal decision to do that for Cole. I think he has to know at that point of the game what it means for him to be in the box. So Cole goes to the box. Almost immediately after, the Flyers tie it up. Lindblom gets a bouncing puck through Freddie, tied at 3, and that's how regulation would end. So we go from what might have been a 3-2 victory because secured it. Like, there's no guarantees, and I bring this up because I just think it's a bad decision. I'm not really ridiculing Ian Cole. It doesn't ruin the good game he had, in my opinion, but it's just a matter of decision, and you have to make the right one there. Given the circumstances, and he unfortunately made the wrong one. So we're tied 3-3 at the end of regulation. We head to overtime. In overtime, the teams kind of trade chances, but it's more or less possession. I think Carolina controlled something like 2:05 of the first possession of the game, of the overtime session. But it really started going probably just past the 3-minute mark. Giroux in kind of a borderline call on Trocheck that didn't get called. Drew comes in all alone. A huge stop by Freddie on the blocker side. He would make another huge stop on Cam Atkinson and then another one on Mayhew. And then back down the other way, Vincent Trocheck stops up on the left side, saucers a pass that is probably at knee or thigh level height for Brett Pesci, but Brett Pesci knocks it down and then snipes over the glove of Martin Jones, and the Canes win 4-3 in overtime. So let's go ahead and get into some player analysis. Let's start off with the good. Frederik Andersen, again, I think I've mentioned him in I don't think I haven't done every game this season, 50 games. I think I've probably done about at least 40 of the games this season, and I think I've mentioned him in at least 35 of them. He has been just so good so far this season, and this game he shined. He shined. He was the Canes' best player. He kept them in it from start to finish. And he deserved this win, and he got the win. The other Cane that I thought had a really strong game, and I don't think he was talked a little bit about, just scrolling through Twitter, and not really much on the broadcast, but Nino Niederreiter had an excellent game here. That third line is just clicking right now between him, Stahl, and Faust. Gets the goal early on in the second and just continues to be an excellent third line presence right now. Average, I had Ian Cole, and it's mostly because of the fight that ended up leading to a goal, because it's a direct lead to the goal. There's also a Svetch turnover in there, but I think it's a decision there where it gives the Flyers a little bit of momentum, and it comes back to bite you. Not only that, you put your team down another defenseman. So he had an excellent game, I thought. Probably his best game as a Carolina Hurricane. But just that fight knocked him down for me. Undid a lot of his good work with that. In bad, I had one player who was bad to me in this game, and that was Nietzsche. I know he got an assist early on in the game, or in the midway point of the game. But he is just really fighting it lately, and you can tell he's wearing it a bit. Lost a little bit of a confidence with the puck. I'm not sure if that's from, getting hit or something, but he is really, really fighting it right now. And for the Flyers, Isaac Ratcliffe, excellent game from him. Excellent power forward. It looks like Philly's going to have like a bit of a diamond in the rough there. I know he's a first-round pick, but he's obviously taken, 4 or 5 years to get from drafted to into the NHL, which is not usual for a first-round pick. But he was excellent in this game using his body. He's surprisingly light on his skates for being so big. He was an excellent player in this game for Philadelphia. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. The Canes don't play again until Friday, thankfully. I'm going to say that because now I don't have to worry about making a video during the week or trying to catch a game or anything like that. So, yeah, so they get a little bit of a break here before they're going back to Raleigh. They definitely need it, but they played excellent in Pennsylvania, taking 2 points fully from the Pittsburgh Penguins, taking the 2 against Philadelphia as well is going to help them in their Metro Division push for the title, I guess, this season, to hang it up there with the Central Division one from last year. So this was an excellent game from Carolina. Definitely some great goaltending and some back and forth, of course, which, what kind of game would it be without it, right? But anyways, thank you everybody for watching this video. If you liked it today, give it a thumbs up down below. Hit that subscribe button as well. Get those notifications with the notification bell right next to it as well, so you can get these videos as soon as they upload after the games. And as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.